Here we go. So welcome, Tony. We're here at Horrorific, the Romford Film Horror Festival. What brings you here then, Tony?
I popped along to... It's going to sound really strange, because I popped along to see a film that I was casted in that I didn't know I was casted in. I just see it come up on IMDb.
Mm-hmm.
And they went... And I actually contacted them and I said, why is my name on IMDb on a film that I haven't never done? And they went, you have done it. And I said, I'm quite sure that I didn't. I would have remembered. And then I remembered I got sent something over, and it was a plea. I remember doing this plea for my sister that had gone missing. It was almost like one of them, newscast things that you put out when you're doing an appeal for someone that's disappeared. And I'm doing this emotional scene over my sister I just vaguely remember it. This is what they've put in the film. I never stepped out on foot on set. That's why I never realised I did it. And do you know what? I don't even know what the name of the film is, but it's 9 o'clock tonight.
So you're on the big screen tonight.
I'm at 9 o'clock on the screen tonight with a film that I didn't know I was in.
But you seem to be like, I know you work with my brother and a friend of my brother, and so I've seen some of the stuff that you've done over the years. And you, as an actor, you get around a bit, don't you?
Yeah, hell of a lot.
Yeah. How do you do that? Because I know a lot of actors that just, they're sitting around auditioning, waiting for the phone call. Right. But you don't seem to be one of those people that waits to be called. I
learned something from this industry years and years ago that that the work don't come calling, you have to go finding. And it's difficult with most of it in the independent world that we work in, because there is a million people wearing lots of different hats that all want to do the jobs that we do. So the only way around it for me to continue working as an actor was to learn many different trades behind the camera as well as in the front. So when I go to a casting and I talk to someone and they say to me, well, I've got this part you're interested in, like most of us, you can stand there, you can deliver a bit of dialogue in it and you look all right for the part, you sort of fit it. And then they say, yeah, right, okay. And in the back of their mind what's going through. Now, you're good and we like you, but there's 200 people outside the door that can do the same job. So why you? And you go, yeah, well, actually, I need to tell you something else as well. I know how to do this. I can get you this, that, this. And I can take your budget from here to here so that you've got more money to spend on a film rather than have to waste it. Do you know what I mean? So it's all the hats that we wear. And that created work for me on set all the time. It created me the ability to keep working without looking for it, in a sense.
Through some kind of idea and maybe philosophy of like doing stuff for others and not just through pursuing the art of doing just acting, you're going out and helping others make their thing. Puts you kind of in a place of being in demand.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I mean, not so much now because I think a lot of people are doing it now. I think my formula went out, and we used to do a lot of these talks. I've done some with your brother. We've done bits, and so I shouldn't probably, but I love to talk about the formula of how I did it and how it works and what you should be doing for yourself. I also think, there's loads of things, Martin, that work. I mean, there's ones where I think to learn both sides of a film makes you a better person when it comes to filming on set. You have an understanding of what crew are going through. You get too many actors walk onto a set that were willing to stamp their feet and never go because things ain't ready on time, or it's running too long, or that ain't been pulled, or ain't got a cup of tea quick enough. And you're forgetting that these people have worked 10 hours before you got there to get it ready to make you look good. Yes, and when you leave, they're going to work another 10 hours to take it down, to put it somewhere else tomorrow so you can come in so you look good. So I think it gives you a real learning respect of both sides. And again, with crew, I think crew need to learn a little bit about the acting side of things to understand mentally what the sort of pressure is that actors go through before they walk on a set. So when an actor says, God, I need a bit of space, it's too loud here, I can't concentrate on it. It's not digging at you, it's because they're trying to find that space. And I think if you learn both sides of it, it makes you that better person. So I wanted to learn all of the industry. It really interested me, and I've built myself up to being what I always call a fixer. I don't like the word producer. I know it's what we are, but I'm a fixer. I like to say I'll fix problems that producers can't.
Nice.
And it's only because I built such a good network up over the years that I know people that can. It's not me. It's a telephone call. But everyone I've worked with that I've done things for, that owe me favours, that I do favours for, that all know we're nice guys. I could pick the phone up and say, I've got a problem. How do I fix it? They tell me. I don't tell someone else has done it. I go back and say, here's your solution. And that gives me branding points with you now. So when it comes to it next time, man, I can pick the phone up to you and say, I've got a problem. How do I do this? It's having that network of people. It's that olive tree. It's that one that keeps growing, that doesn't stop, that allows us to be able to make ourselves almost so intelligent in the industry that we know it all, but we don't. Do you know what I mean? But it's just, listen, it's how things get done for me. It's how things work.
It sounds like you're also, by helping others, putting yourself in a position of you're in demand.
That's how I am. Probably not. I probably do. Listen, I think the industry at the moment, for quite a lot of people, which I've just noticed, talked to some out there as well, it's gone very quiet. There's a lot of people that I knew that they're very talented, and not just talking about directors and camera operators, DOPs and actors that are not working at the moment. So I've got bits going on still, so I think myself lucky.
But the industry as a whole has quietened down.
I think so. Yeah, there's something. Do you know? There's always a calm before a storm. Something's going on. I don't know what's happening out there, but something's going to be big and it's going to hit. I think.
Yeah, well, there's still a lot of people that believe and want to be part of this industry. There's a massive amount of people that do. So it's not gonna disappear or die anytime soon. And a lot of people here have been talking about some kind of renaissance within the film industry is needed or happening.
Let's be honest, right? I can go back to maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago in Cannes, yeah, when every year since the independent film industry has made their stamp on the world, every year someone somewhere from the bigger studios or the bigger places have put obstacles in a way to shut them down. They don't want them out there. You're a thorn in their side. They don't want you there. You can produce stuff and make stuff so much cheaper than they've been telling people for years that you need. And yeah, all right, fine. They do have the money to throw at the great big house explosions and this and that, but there's some good strong acting comes out of the independent world, and they've not liked that. It's almost like the independent world of music years ago, when our bands used to get out there was by making their own CDs and their own garments and their own items and putting themselves online and selling their merchandise, so that trolls that troll this stuff, that's what they're paid to do, to look at it and go, hang on a minute, we're losing money on these people because they're now selling this much product. So the independent world sort of moved along, I think, in that way. We become a thorn in their side because we realised we could do it. And I've seen a lot of changes over the years and they're still making them now, where the level that they're looking for keeps moving higher and higher up, which independent companies like the studios can afford to do. Like what we're doing now, what are we shooting in now? They're asking us to shoot in some ridiculously 6K are we in now or something? I mean, to a small independent person, have you seen the size of the machinery you need to download this stuff and to do the DIT on this stuff when you're on set working? It's ridiculous. So they're always moving the goalposts to try and say, well, we can't stop you, but if we lift it to here, we can get rid of you. And we always take a sidestep because we're not governed by them.
No.
So in the independent world, and for anyone that's listening that does independent film, you don't ever stop because the independent world doesn't follow this protocol that they do. We take a sidestep. We go, we can't do it that way, so we'll go that way. Just carry on going up that way.
I wonder if like the bigger companies, the bigger studios understand fully and appreciate fully where the people that are working for them come from. They come from the independent world. People come up. They don't just appear out of nowhere, do they?
So does every politician in the world. They all start out wanting to do good, don't they?
Yeah.
But then they all toe the line when they get there. You know, I think you get brainwashed into look, once you've made it and you've become someone and you're out there, I know this sounds a horrible thing, but it's so true that it doesn't matter whether it's sport, whether it's politics, whatever it is, you end up towing the line because it's just as easy to be thrown out as it is for you to have got in. These people still control you. And I think the bigger you go, the more controlled you are, to be honest with you.
Right.
You know, you sign a contract with a studio, you don't run your life anymore. The studio run. What does independent do, though? We can't film it that way, so we'll go and film it. Oh, we can't do that. Studios do. Yeah, but we do. Because we haven't got the money to do what you do.
So there is a place of freedom then within this independent world that maybe you don't want to. I wouldn't like to come out of that. I wouldn't like to come out of that place of freedom. Just what price could you actually put on that you would actually want it?
I think everyone that works in the industry that we work in the independent side of things where we are, do it for. They don't do it for fame. They don't do it for fortune. Let's be honest, it ain't there.
No.
Either of it ain't there. So you're in the wrong game.
Yeah.
It's creative. It's a creative love for doing what you do. You know, it's getting up every morning with an actor's art and doing what you want to do, and you are successful in your own right. No matter if someone tries putting you down, the fact that you get up and you do what you love to do makes you a success. I think, in my book. So and it can never be taken away from you. I just think the independent gives you the freedom of when you get onto a set independently, where you haven't got the pressures of the studios or working with the BBC. I mean, I'm not saying they're bad people, but I mean, I can imagine the amount of pressure they're under their contracts of what they do. You know, you can't do this, you can't do that.
Well, then I guess the politics comes into
that's
it.
That's when it becomes clouded, whereas that's now all that's in your body, all that's in your mind, all that's on your stress levels before you step on set to deliver what you're doing. I've seen some great stuff come out of independent, and I think it's because we say to a lot of we give them a freedom when they get on set to show us what they can do. What can you bring to life to our set? Whereas when you're governed by a studio, I think you're governed by a script. You're governed by script writers. You're told, no, we want it this way. We don't want it that way. So no one even tries to come out of that comfort zone to do it. They stay within them lines, don't they? Whereas we don't. You know, we haven't, like I said, we haven't got the ability or the money to creatively give you that picture that you want to look. So we work on dialogue. Every script I've ever seen on an independent world is dialogue heavy. It's dialogue heavy because we take it out with dialogue. Well, you don't have money for nothing else, let's be honest. So what does it take to carry dialogue in a script? It takes very talented actors to hold an audience. Because if you can't do your job, you're bored already of watching it.
Yes.
So, again, no disrespect to actors that have made it out there, because listen, to make it, it's the hardest industry in the world to make it. So anyone that has made it, they have much respect. What I worry about, like boxers and like sports people, once you've already reached the top, is the fire in the belly gone and you're not delivering what you should be delivering. You're not really, you've lost the point of what got you there to start with. The fire that took you there, that journey that you went on to get there, is the bit that I'm worried you might start to lose. You tarnish from it. Whereas these kids that are coming up, they've got that fire. You look at a sportsman in a boxing ring, one of them that's fighting to get to the top, he fights with every inch of breath of blood in his body to get there. But once you've already made it and you've got that belt, all you're doing is hanging on to it.
So how can we keep that fire then once we get to the top then? Because it sounds like you've got that fire right now. Okay, so you've got that fire right now, but
I've never reached the top.
but we're aiming for it. I'm aiming for it as well. You know, that's what ambitious people want to go somewhere, don't they? You don't want it doesn't sound to me like you want to be stagnant and you just want to be in this world. You want to play in other playgrounds as well, don't you?
Yeah, I think I'd like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, listen, I have worked on some fantastically big films, and I've been looked after in ways that, I mean, when I worked in Barbados, when we done Blackbird, I mean, God, I was treated like a king. It was like, I was living the life of our thought of every A-list actor must live, you know. Beautiful private apartment to live in. It was your own beach, private beach, you know, your own, we had our own chefs, it was incredible. I've never lived a life like, and I think it's probably the best job I've ever done. But I took that away from me, and don't get me wrong, I enjoyed every moment of it. I'm very thankful to the companies that put me on it and that casted me for it. But every job in my own heart for what I do is just as good as that one was. You know, it might be. I might be in the middle of
Romford Shopping Centre basement.
Do you know what it is? It's when you walk onto a set. I think this is how we work. I think a lot of us. I walk onto a set, and it's almost as though someone's opened up an oxygen tank and I can breathe again. It's my world. It's a world that I feel that gives me air. It gives me life. It brings me to life. It lets me be who I want to be.
Amazing.
It's an incredible feeling, and that feeling you get no matter if it's 50 quid or if it's 50 million. How can you take to make the feeling any different? It's inside you. It's that what brings you to life. You know, it's what gives us that 5 minutes of stepping away of who we are and letting us step into another world completely. So that when I do come back to my own world, it's give us enough time to recharge, so I can handle my own life again for a little while. Step out again, so it keeps us sane.
So what are you working on at the moment then, Tony? What's happening right now?
Well, as you know, I'm working with your brother on some stuff off the floor.
Yeah, so go on. So what is that? So you've got a company with my brother,
We've got Royal Flush Productions. Yes, we have, and we're doing very well. It's been since our last film, Dreamhacker, obviously, is when we set the company up. Once we've done Dreamhacker, we realised between us that we had a quite good skill level, I think, to bring things together. You know what I mean?
Do you mean like as in a team?
As a team, working with your brother, we've managed to make a very high-end visual production, but not with that sort of money, because creatively we understand how it works, and we've got a lot of different contacts between us. We've worn a lot of different hats when we did that film, but we realised we could get quite a lot done. And then we realised how many people we really did know that were all the same thinking as us, that are very skilled people to get something done. So we decided to put a company together, which we did. It has taken some time, but I think it took time this time, because to build a proper film company that's got a longevity to stay, that's not going nowhere, takes time with your government tax credits and your retainers, with your lawyers on retainer, your accountants on retainer, everything, all the little parts that you've got put together, so that when you finally go to this meeting, and we're at that point now where we've got a script, we've got a film, we're approaching actors, everything's there, that when someone says, yeah, but have you got, you can go, we do,
yeah.
And it's I think it's part of the industry, even from actors. Now, from an acting point of view, when you first start out as an actor, you walk into a casting room, and the first thing you're asked, have you got an agent? And you watch the little eyebrows rouse, and you go, no. And you think, oh, okay then. Oh, you on Spotlight? No. And you get all these questions. So when you finally go back and you walk in that room and you go, have you got an agent? You go, yes. And they go, but are you on Spotlight? And you get the same brow, and you think, no, I ain't yet. But you get the same. It's that all the ducks have to line up. So when you finally do get in that room and you say,
yes,
have you?
I see it as kind of like building you have to build the foundations, don't you? Yeah. You have to. I see it like you're building a house, or you're building a castle, whatever size it is. But if you haven't got that foundations there, how are you going to lay the first brick?
100%.
And how is someone going to get involved with you without that? Because within the creative industries, there is a lot of people with talk. There's a lot of people have got the greatest idea in the world that's worth $10 million or whatever it is. But can they actually do it?
Yeah,
have they got the things in place to build on that?
I think that's the hardest part, isn't it? I think that we are talking about, I've always, again, it's our talk foundation. For me, that's the one. The foundation is, once you build a solid foundation, whether it's in production, whether it's as an actor, it's there for you to fall, because you are going to fall. Let's be honest, we all collapse in this industry. Everyone does it. You never stay at the top. You always get knocked back. But the idea of the foundation is you can only fall so far.
Yeah.
And you can get back on your feet and brush yourself off and start again. If you haven't got that, you're just going to keep on dropping and you're never coming back. So, and that's the hard work in this industry. The hard work, even in this, all this setup you've got here and what you're doing here, you've had to build this over time.
Yeah, of course. I see. This is
come overnight.
No, this has taken nearly 2 years of building a foundation. Yeah,
keeps you where you are. It's what changes you from the other people talking about.
Yes, yeah.
It's what
because everyone tells me they're going to start a podcast. Everyone, and they do 2 or 3 episodes in, and then they realise how much hard work it is.
It's a 24-hour job. Isn't
Yeah.
it?
100%.
You don't stop. It's
no, this is my life.
And that's what happens. You end up breathing it, sleeping it, thinking it, dreaming it. This is it. But the foundation that you've built means that, you are never going to go anywhere. It doesn't matter who starts over there, You already built your foundation.
It fills me with confidence, that foundation. Yeah. That's exactly it. So when other people come along and they say, I'm going to start a podcast as well, I'm going to copy you with this, I'm like, great, go for it. Like do it. It doesn't matter. You're not going to take away from my experience.
The foundation's a bit like this. Your foundation's a bit like your parents. It's that never asking them for it, but always knowing they're there if you do fall, to pick you up, brush you off, and put you back at school.
Nice.
Put the plaster on your knee. That's your foundation. Your foundation's your family that's going to support you and never let you drop too far through the floor, which is a nice feeling. It's that solidness. It's the bit that says to you, I'm going to take a chance on this next thing I'm going to do, because how far can I fall? Only back to my foundation. It's never going to put me through the floor, is it?
And that allows others to have trust in you as well. Yeah. So when others want to get involved with you in the films that you're going to make, they can look at that foundation, they can go, that's pretty solid.
Yeah, track record was important. I mean, we know that even when it comes to distribution and films. I mean, there's a lot of youngsters out there that make some really talented films, but and I know that this first film they've got, they're never going to earn anything out of it. You're not going to see loads of money out of it. It's not for that reason. I'm not knocking distributors at all, please. If that's not what I'm saying, I'm not. What I'm saying is we all understand about gatekeepers. We all understand about going through the first and second film. We know that there's people out there that are sharks that know this, and they're going to bleed on it and take it from you and make you do a second one, because you're never going to see them again. Once the foundation's laid and you've done a couple of films and you've got some history behind you, you've got something that makes you a bit more solid, that another company could look at and think, well, we're not wasting money on this guy because he ain't going nowhere. He's already made it. He's serious. He's in the industry. We can now take a chance because he's now making stuff. A one-hit wonder. I know it's difficult for a lot of the youngsters, but you have to. It's a formula. You've got to work through it to get to it. And the first film you make, it's all this is that foundation brick. It's laying that down. So when you finally meet that right person that's going to trust in you and invest in you, they know you're not going nowhere. You're going to, you're going to stand the time, and you're worth investing in, because there's another film coming, and there's loads out there. I can mention loads of directors at the moment that I'm working with, young ones. That their future, I can see them coming. I'm not going to mention them now, but I'm telling you now, these people are coming out there.
Yeah, there's some exciting people out there, isn't there?
There's some big stuff coming soon, and
and you kind of find them I find them at these kind of festivals, kind of places.
Again, networking. What do we always say to it when we talk about people say, how'd you get in the industry? What to do? Network.
See, networking's a scary word, though, isn't it? Networking's
it shouldn't be.
It's quite daunting for a lot of people.
It shouldn't be. How do you start one network? So you're sitting indoors and you're listening to this and you're thinking, do you know what? I really want to do this myself and I want to have a go, but what do I do? Right. First things first. Let's be honest. Look at the premieres that are coming up. Look at the independent films that are showing at premieres. They're cheap tickets. Buy one, go along. As soon as your face is seen, first of all, number one, you're supporting the independent world. Yeah. People will see.
The world that you want to be in.
The
world that you're talking about, the world that you're saying that I want to be part of.
Yes.
By getting out there and networking, you're saying, I actually actively want to do it.
Because as soon as you say network people, you look at Facebook and that, or you look at social media and you see there's been an event, and you think, I never got invited. I'm new, no, I don't know no one, how do I get in? Premieres are the start. Talk to people at premieres, because that's where they all go to meet. Number two, stay away from A-listers. If you see an A-lister, don't rub shoulders with him and say, I really like your films, you're great work, I really like, because he ain't going to get you a job. No. Believe me, he will not get you a job.
The best thing it's going to get you is a photo on Instagram.
You've got to look around right now. When you look in a room, you will see creative people. You can say they stand out from anyone else. They're different to anyone else. Yeah. So when I first came in this industry and I started networking, I looked around the room and I thought, I don't want to talk to you because I've tried it and it don't work. I don't want to talk to you. And I see it always isolated. There's a group. I guarantee you there will be your producers, your directors, your first lady. They're a different breed to the other people. They're the ones you want to make friends with. They're the ones you want to know. They're the ones you want to get to know you. Don't go in hard selling. Don't walk in and go, here's my card, this is what I do, because no one wants to talk to someone that's got no interest in them. Go in and find out about them. Talk to them. Find out what it is they do, the genres that they film, the sort of things that they're into. Get to know them. And by the time you want to tell them who you are, they'll already know who you are because you've took time in them. Yeah. You understood them, you've supported them. That's what this is about, you know. Because again, what are we doing? We're laying a foundation. That's part of the foundation we're building. This that network of people that we want to get to know, because that's where we want to work. It's the industry we want to work in. There's lots of different ways to do it. You can go to RADA if you want. You can spend all that money out if you've got the money to do it, and you can be the best trained in the world to come out. But for me,
if you think about how many students go through that door and how many actually make it,
crazy.
And I think studying the thing that you want to do is important.
Very much so.
You know, it's a craft.
Very much
what
so.
we're doing here.
So.
But that's not all there is to it. I find a lot of actors that come out of the drama schools think that that's it. But that's the end of the journey. You know, they're going to get a job.
Where I was going with it was I'm not knocking drama schools. If you've got the money and you can afford to train at the best of the best, then it is a place to be. But there is many open days, calling, drop-in centres, acting classes, funds that are really next to nothing to do. Yeah. Some of them absolutely free. And do you know what? For a lot of actors that I find now, it's like being a painter, a decorator. Do you know? At the end of the day, you can paint a wall, but if you don't do it for 2 years, you're going to be rusty.
Yes,
so you can drop into these centres, and you can. And again, you're meeting people there that are the same as you. They're working on stuff like this. They're creative people. Yeah. Some people that go there are looking for people. They're looking for actors. They're looking for someone for their next project. I'll guarantee you, 9 times out of 10, when you talk to an actor, they're working like me and your brother do on our own companies, and we're looking to make something. So now I'm talking to you, and you've got this, or you know someone that. Oh, that's great. I didn't realise that. Do you want to come and help talk to us about it?
Yeah.
You know, and this is
it's a trickle effect, isn't it? And we can't do it without connecting with other people.
No, and again, I've been trying to work this for years, and it just doesn't seem to work for me. But within the independent world, right, we all know directors, producers, actors. We know everyone to make a film. Everyone. We're all trying to do it. Yeah. If you could somehow unite the independent world, right, unite them, only employ through it. Yeah, only employ for it, only raise finance for it. I mean, you imagine the amount of independent creators, even that are in this room today at this festival, this horror fest. If every one of them were to make a film, because they're all making horror films, and they all supported each other to make a film, you wouldn't need financiers, you wouldn't need studios. You could start tomorrow, because everyone. What's £1 or £2 out of your pocket if we all did it, but we all supported someone to do it? You'd soon raise the money to make a film. And then not just raising that money, we go within the industry and we hire from it as well. Because I already know that I've got the actors, because we do horror. I already know the directors I need for it. I know the people that can edit for it. All right, we can't hire all of them. But slowly along the road, we could all do something and all create something and make a film and do it and all support each other. It's because we're still trying to get over that horrible, horrible thing it is, but someone's succeeding, someone else doesn't want to see them. We need to get out
the ego. We need to get out. We need destroying the ego. I think can help your career actually, because that self drive is important, and we need the ego. But if it's all about us, I don't see how you can move forward in a collaborative industry. Because we have to work together, don't we, in this thing, in the film industry? It's not possible as an individual. What are you going to do? Just hold a camera? Like it won't work.
It's the same as everything. It's the same as when you go on a set and you get support. It's another one, supporting artists, right? So I don't like the word extra. I think it's an horrible word. I don't think it should be used. I think it should be banned from the film industry. I think they are supporting artists. There is an art in what they do. They turn up. Now, if you're in a room, I've had a script. I know what I'm doing. Your brother rehearses the hell out of us, so I know exactly where I'm going with it. And then we bring all the supporting artists on, and we put them everywhere. And we say, right, this is what we're doing. We're going to shoot in it. You need to do this. You need to do that. You're crossing over there. You drink that, but don't drink too much continuity. And we expect them to remember that when we go action on the first take. Come on, there's an art in that. That ain't easy to do. That's difficult. So let's give them the respect to start with of what they are. They are supporting artists. But even that, to come along, there's a network of purely supporting artists. Again, without the supporting artists, you go into a nightclub scene, and you stand there as the actor, and you've got no support. No, you ain't going to look very good on your own. No. So all them people that are around you, again, respectfully, have just made you look even better as an actor.
See, I've done a lot of supporting artist work, extra work over the years, and I've got some fantastic experience from doing that. But I've also been on some sets that have been horrible experiences where I've been treated as a lesser human being. I've been treated, that kind of you need to go to the back of the queue and wait an extra half an hour for your lunch. Even to the point of you can't use these toilets here. You need to use the toilets that are half a mile down the road.
Yeah, I've been on
and doing that to people, I think if you're working in this collaborative thing, it trickles. It creates an atmosphere that then the art doesn't succeed from that.
I don't disagree with what you're saying. I've been on sets like that and I've seen it. All I will say is I've never, ever had a bad experience. And only because I've been on sets where it is, and it should be, but I focus on, right, so it's not a good day. They don't treat me very well. It's not going too good for me. But I have now, because I come on this set today, I've met this guy, that woman, that lady. So
taking away the positive rather than
something than the negative.
Yeah.
So please, don't ever go on a set and think it's all bad, because they're not all run that way.
No.
But on every negative, there's always a positive, but you've got to find it. It doesn't come. You can't sit on it and feel.
Yeah, and I guess that there is a thing on the film sets where some of the crew don't like the extras because of the attitude that they bring. Because there's a lot of negativity, there's a lot of moaning going on, and actually, what I do if I'm an extra on a film set now, because I occasionally do it, it's a good side hustle, good little bit of money every now and then when I'm not doing so well financially. In fact, I'm doing 2 days later this week being an extra in something because it's going to pay me £250 a day, which for 2 days that's £500.
Good money.
That's nice.
If
I can
the
do
HMR,
that. But no, sorry, not 200.
I don't know anything.
No.
No.
What am I saying? I'm just saying that as an example of what the possibility of getting could be. I do have the power to cut and edit this, so that's fine. But
it's not live thing.
No. But what I'm kind of getting at, what am I getting at? Now I'm worried about HMRC. That's all I'm worried about now. But yeah, so where I'm going with this, that it's there is a negative vibe can kind of stem from supporting artists because it can be quite a tough job to do, and it can be quite tough to be treated as a lesser human. But like you say, you need to find the positive in these situations. And I find myself, if I'm say sitting on the bus having lunch with these people, I will move away from them now.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be consumed by that.
Of course not. Look, you're going to get people that go on as supporting artists that take their job seriously and are professional at it, and you get those that are there for the ride because they think it's funny, and then they're going to make mates with Hugh Grant. And it ain't going to happen. It's as easy as that. It's not happening. You're kept away from them. It's not like, at the end of the day, it's it isn't. I think it's a good job still, because it's still, if you open your eyes and you listen, and I've done it. We've all been there. I've worked as a supporting artist many times when I started, but I learned a lot from it. And there was tools. I literally sat and watched actors performing, thinking you are incredible, and the stuff that these guys done or that I've nicked and I still use today myself. Things that I've watched, and it's gone in my toolbox. And I thought, I love that. I think that the certain way he looked, a certain glance, certain reaction, you think, man, I can use that. That is incredible.
Yeah.
You can get as much out of anything in life that you put into it. If you're not going to do the time and do the work, you ain't going to get much from it. But if you're willing to learn, there is so much to learn. And don't close yourself off, because like I say, that even actors that we work with that you think are they're not easy to get on with at all. Take from them what you're watching. Don't take from them the way they act as human beings, but professionally, they've still got something to give, because that's why they are where they are. They won't be there for no reason. Some of them that we've worked with over the years, you think the arrogance that comes out of them, and you think, mate, not nice. But let's be honest, you'd look at them and think, well, I won't give you a job. You're an awful person. But they're there for a reason. It's because they've got a skill of what they do. So it's up to you which way you take from it. Yeah, all right, they're going to talk to me like and I've been on sets with them, and I've worked with them, and I'm not going to mention names because some of them are quite big actors. But I've learnt a lot from them.
Yeah, and maybe that they've developed something that, like you say, is working for them in a business sense.
Yes, of course.
Some of these people that are not nice characters, and maybe that's what they are. They just simply found a character that they can play that sets them apart from the others.
It's a shame, because we seem to come across the fact that not in everybody,
Mm-hmm.
but the higher some people get in whatever job they are, the more they become.
I wonder if it's that the negative people are just a little bit louder.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
So it's not that there's more. It's not that they're.
But then you couldn't do it on a set, and I couldn't do it on a set. You'd be expected to act a certain way. I'd be expected to know when I go on a set when I'm working. I'm expected to know my lines. I'm expected to be off script. I'm expected to know what I'm doing. And yet I get other people come on that I work with that are right up the food chain, and yet they're not, and they don't know, and they're not expected at all. And it's sort of like, it's all right, it's not a problem, it doesn't matter. But if I did it, it would matter.
But I guess that comes back down to the foundations. They built a solid They done the work. They built the solid foundation, and now they have some flexibility. They have stuff that they can play with, and they can, they're able to live life in a way that works for them.
Does it go the other way again though as well? What we was talking about earlier, the burning in the belly.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I've already got it now. I mean, I've done it. I've done that bit. I'm already there. I think if we could strip a lot of actors back and say, this is what I think it comes down to with like when I see Billy Zane. Let's look at Billy Zane.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Zane done a film some time ago. It was an independent film. I was at a festival. He'd done this film for free. Now Billy Zane's a good actor. He's a big actor.
And he's been in some really big
stuff.
Films, yeah.
But I think he realised, he read a script, and Billy's in touch with the fact of, I've got that fire again. I know why I started this industry.
Mm-hmm.
This is the feeling that I started. Not where I am now. It was the feeling on the journey to get there. And I think Billy come all the way back again. Do you know what? I'll do that. I read it. I loved it. He felt something inside and thought, do you know what? I can bring so much to this character. I don't want paying. You haven't got the money. But I will do it. But this is Billy Zane we're talking about. It's why I always say it's never out of the window to ask an actor to come on a film and do it for you. Yeah, all right, you're going to get a no. That's what you're going to get. It's not an insult. We haven't got loads of money, but I'm willing to pay something. I don't want you for nothing. And your time is precious, and I understand that. But we're all hoping for that one script across the table where an actor will look at it and go, I actually just want to do that. I think that's incredible. And it's always out there. It's always a possibility.
Yeah,
it's always a possibility. So don't be frightened to ask. Listen, if you don't ask, you don't get. And
No,
I'm a keen asker. I've had plenty of doors closed in my face. I will admit that, and it happens. I don't take it personally. It doesn't matter to me. But if you don't ask, it's one day you're going to ask the right question to the right person, and that's going to be the one that you wanted. Either you're in the film that you wanted to be in as an actor, or you've got someone in your film as a production company that you really love to work with.
I guess it comes back to making the effort to make those connections.
It'd be nice. Because the one thing people always look at is they're going to ask about you, what is they really like as a person, and you really want someone to say, listen, they're really nice people.
Yeah, well, but even before we started this podcast, we were talking about someone that we both have worked with, and what was the first thing that we said? We said they were an arsehole. Yeah. Wasn't it? That's and both of us said we don't want to work with that person.
Yes.
Well, that was the first bit of the conversation.
That's what comes up.
Yeah. What are they like as a human being first?
That's really, I think for me, that's the most important thing. Right? It's great that someone comes along to a casting and they're a great actor and they can really deliver, but if they are going to be a real arse, you don't want to be spending 10 hours a day on set. I'm sorry, but that just makes the work so much harder. It's not worth it. So even with your castings, when you go to a casting, and I work with a lot of casting agents. I've just been working with Sharon Seventino, which for me, she's a really great casting agent, and she's going to be doing some work with us soon, hopefully on our next project. But I do a lot with the Actors Academy in London, and I had her up there for a seminar day. I bring different people in to talk to the students, and it's really important when you're in a drama class or a drama school to have casting agents come in and do a day with you to explain to you how casting really works, because everyone's frightened of casting agent. Right? But it starts in the waiting room. When you turn up in a waiting room, I'm telling you now, there is always someone sitting in that waiting room somewhere that works with these people, so that when the whole day's come alive and they're all finished and they're looking back at all these headshots of people and they're saying that one was good, that one, what was they like when they walked in? Not in here, what was they like with people? I
often had this same thought actually going into casting rooms and thinking it starts with the receptionist.
Yes.
That receptionist has a notepad and pen for a reason.
Yeah, it could be her, it could be someone sitting there, but we use them. I use them. I've learned over the years, and when we do castings, I do it. Because what I want to know is, when you walked in, did they sit over there all on their own and not talk to no one? Did they mix, and were they quite chatty? Were they quite friendly, or were they really arrogant in there? But they showed me what I wanted to see when they walked in here. That's what I want. I want to see the real person, because it's really important for us on the set. Yes, it's great to be the greatest actor in the world and be able to do your job, but God, guys, be nice. Being nice takes you a lot further in this world, honestly, than every other skill that you've got. Just to be a nice person, it helps.
I think it also that same sort of that what you are as a person and how people are viewing you also trickles through into social media. and how you're using that.
Yeah.
What kind of stuff are you putting out there in the world? I know a fantastic actress, and all she does on social media is sharing herself getting drunk.
Yeah,
And she,
good.
you know, and I said to her recently, like, these casting agents that you're going to see, they are going to go on Instagram and see what your life is. Do you really want to show yourself being pissed every weekend? Like, is that really what the image that you want to give out there? Because you're going to be selling their product. As an actor, you have a job to do, and it's not just performing.
No, it's what comes with it after, because obviously you're tied to someone's film after that, and what you do shines a light on what they are. So it's very important. And we had another similar one a while ago with an actress that we know. She's coming up and she's doing really well. She was getting really well. She started doing a lot of very prerogative pictures and stuff. That was a shoot. It's a professional shoot she was going on.
Yeah.
But she was doing, and the question came out, like, why am I not getting the castings I was getting before? And then we'll take a look at what you're doing now. I mean, it's an image you're creating for yourself. So the only people that are going to come after you are people that think that's what you're doing.
That type of thing, yeah.
And it's just not the way to go. It is important. I mean, social media is dangerous. I find it very dangerous. I think it can either be a really thing that lifts your career and do a lot for you if it's used properly, but it's also really dangerous.
I guess I'm trying to look for an element of social awareness that you need when you're using these tools, because I'm doing this. I'm all for freedom of expression and freedom of speech, and I think actors should be able to speak their mind and contribute
to a point. Because it's really important, I think, when you see, I mean, we all got friends that argue, and I see it all the time. You know, and something goes up and something's been made, and you've got to be very careful the way you comment on something, what you say, because it can be taken out of context so easily. So it is a dangerous thing, and that takes away the freedom of speech.
Yeah, I guess how much do you want to stand by what you say?
Yeah, and
how, you know, because I'm now in this position that I'll stand by everything that I say, and I'll say also when I've made a mistake by what I say.
Yeah,
and I'm confident with that.
Person, yeah.
You know, and I do make mistakes with some of the comments that I make, and that's taken a lot of work to get to that place of saying I made a mistake, I'm ill-informed, I'm clueless. But it is hard for actors and to kind of escape that and not be silenced, not be frightened to speak.
Again, it comes down to the same thing, unfortunately. It's that foundation. Again, it all comes back to this, because it's the structure of everything. If you would have done the mistakes that you've done, whether you apologised or not back in the early days, you wouldn't have got away with it. You would have been done for it at the end of it.
And that's the end of what I want to do moving forward.
You built a foundation which allows you and gives you a little bit of leeway now that if you do make a mistake and you say sorry, you ain't going too far. You're going to upset a few people, but you're not disappearing. So again, it comes down to the same thing, doesn't it? You know, you can be a little bit more forgiving the longer you're in the industry.
That you're in it for.
The earlier you are, it's not as easy. The forgivingness ain't there. You will make a mistake that will stop you from working, and it will stop people saying, well, we just don't want him. Later on in time, it's different. But the foundation means it's because enough of us have got to know you to know that, all right, it was a stupid thing you said, but I can understand it. Do you know what I mean? I get it. He said sorry. It doesn't, because I know him now, and I know it's not like, you don't get that chance at the beginning. The chances ain't there, you know. It's unfortunate, but do we have the time? I know it's an odd way of looking at it, but do we really have the time to listen to someone that I don't really know? You've only just started. You've acted in a certain way that I think I don't want to work with that now. But if I had time to get to know you, maybe you're not that sort of person, I do forgive you. There is so much going on in the street, so fast at the beginning, we don't have that time unfortunately. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, be careful what you say, be careful the way you present yourself on social media. It is important, you know, until you get to a certain standing there. I'm not saying it's the right way to do it, but the forgiving is a little bit more generous, I think. Do you know?
No, that's some good advice there, Tony. That's what I'm trying to get to with this, just trying to discover these things. So you seem to have built this solid foundation, and you've got this company now that you're doing with my brother, like we touched on before. Yep. What is happening with that at the moment? What are you doing right now with Roll Flush Productions?
We are now we are in a position, like I said, we're approaching actors now. We are right at the cuff now of signing with a casting agent to make this thing start to happen. Do you know what I mean? I don't know how much I can really talk about it in a sense, because the project is not, I don't know.
It's in motion.
It's sitting up there.
Fluid, it's fluid and in motion.
Look, we're working. We've got a solid thing we've got now. I think it's a great piece of work. I think it will happen. Not I think it's going to happen. It will happen. When, I don't know. But we are right on the cuff now of there is nothing else that we can offer. We have put everything in line. You know, like, as I said, our ducks in a row. We've got all of them. There is nothing that we haven't got. to cover that when we do approach a decent actor now that they can't ask, or their agent can't ask, have you got this? We want to see that. And the last key of this is a decent casting agent, because it's different with me and Rich going into a room and saying, and phoning up an agent saying, well, who are you? But I'm using a casting agent that's 25 years she's been in this industry. She's still very active now. She's just literally casted a very big project at the moment. So that I know that when she rings, that's another tick in my box to say, well, if they've got her, we're willing to listen to her. Now what have you got? And she can get a bit more across the line for me. So as a company, we've got, I mean, you could go onto the website. I mean, if you've only got to look at Royal Flush Productions, you know, or Royal Flush Films, type it in, it will come up. And you'll see our webpage, you'll see everything we've got to offer, what we're doing. Enigma Island is on there. I think it's on there, so I'm not going to lie. You can look at it on there. You can have a look for yourself. That's the film we're going to do. It's a two-end film. There is more characters to it, but it's mainly about one character. So it takes a very strong character to lead this film. Again, as we were talking about earlier, they need to have the right presence and the right set for this on screen to carry the audience, because it's about them. So it's going to be a very big project for someone to take on as an actor, you know. So it takes the right name to play it. But we've got other stuff that we're looking at doing as well. We are looking at doing some smaller sort of films. Now we're at that point where we're ready to deliver this one, or to get it ready to go. While that's being packaged, we all still want to work. So we're looking at some smaller independent stuff that we still want to do, which is a film that, again, your brother's written, or he's written, that's the one word, wrote. It's a heist horror come whodunit type film, which has got a lot of packed elements in it. I don't think it's going to need a massive name to carry it because of the genre that it is, so it should carry itself, and that's what this festival pretty much is about. Horror has always been one of them ones where if you've got your Robert Englund, you're laughing, but if you haven't, it's a horror. It has got
it's still an audience for it, yeah.
It's got it. That and period has always had that for me. Period's always a lot more expensive to do, as far as I'm concerned, because costumes and period drama, very expensive. But them two things have elements to it, and I think Rich has written something that sort of covers all them balls, so we should be able to get around it. But listen, it's about keeping active, keeping busy, keeping fresh. If you're making something, it doesn't matter how big it is or how small it is, you're making something which puts you on everyone's eye line again, so that you're out there and you're still creatively doing stuff. You don't want to go stagnant for too long. Too long takes you out of the mind. I've always said, listen, if we don't get to you as actors and employing you because you're friends, and like you're an actor yourself, someone that we know, it's all about the fact that you wasn't on the mind at the time. And it's not that I've forgotten about you, it's because we see so much and things happen so fast in this industry that unless you're popping up every once in a while going, hi, how you doing, how's things going, I don't know you're there.
It's just the way of life, isn't it? It's not a personal thing, really, is it?
I'll tell you where it all comes from. We all get this thing, you know, when you bump into someone and someone says, I wish I would have seen you last month. I had a part that you would have fitted so well.
Yes.
I get it so many times, you know what I mean? You think, why didn't you think of me? It's not because I didn't think here. It's because I should have been popping up saying, hi, how you doing? Every once in a while, so that we keep fresh with this thing. And then we're in people's eye lines all the time, because we're all great at what we do. But unless you're in the eye line, I don't think of you at the time, because so much is happening so fast. I haven't got time to think about that unless I see you and I go, what about Martin?
Yes.
We can use him for that part, because I know that he'd fit it perfectly, and I know he can do it. It's that sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? So you've got to live it.
You've got to live in the area.
You've got to be in the moment. You've got to be in the moment. If you ain't in the moment, you're not there. You need to be in the moment. And to be in the moment means working. Look at every time we don't do something in filming, when me and Richard are not doing nothing, it's a very quiet time. As soon as we start filming or we announce we're doing something, all of a sudden life becomes very busy again. Everyone's talking to you, everyone wants to know you. It's not because you're looking for something. I don't believe that at all. It's because you're out there again. Everyone goes, oh, look, they're working. What do they do now? Everyone wants to know, and it's buzzing around again. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
And again, it's that feeling, walking on set, the oxygen tanks open up and we can all breathe again. I've done a film recently. I was on a film recently. Again, I won't mention the name because I'm not allowed to, but it was with Patsy Kenzie and a few of the others I worked with on there. And it was Julian Glover was on. I mean, he's such a great seasoned actor. Oh, God, but what a great actor he is. But it was that scenario again. I made a phone call to someone just on the random of talking to someone, and 2 days later I get a phone call and say, listen, do you want I've got a part for you, actually. It was only because I made that phone call 2 days before. And they thought,
it worked.
oh, we can do that. We were looking for someone for that role. We'll get him to do it. And that's what I think is important. Again, networking. That's why networking is so important, because if you're fresh and you're in the moment, people will remember you and they go, yes. It's always easy to say to someone after, I had a part you could have done, but I didn't think you at the time because I didn't see you. But if I'd seen you and I know I'm doing it, and when you network, that's what I'm saying. The people you're networking with at premieres, and when you go along to support people, like we're supporting people here at the festival here, it's fresh in their minds. They're doing so. I've already spoke to probably 5 people walking through the lobby here that I haven't seen for ages that are probably going to work on something. And they go, oh, what about Tony? Yeah, we'll ask him.
Yeah.
And that's how it works, isn't it?
Brilliant. Thank you so much for sharing, Tony.
Great.
I really do appreciate
went
it.
round the houses completely.
No, that's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we do.
I didn't focus on one thing at all. But it was good to
good.
film and talk, you know.
Yeah, about the things that we love and about our passions. And
the good thing about people like us is we don't keep it for ourselves. We ain't ego people. We don't keep it. If I can share it and help someone else along the way, this is what we do. That's why we get good at what we do. I often get phone calls from people that can't afford a lot, and that's why they do come in. And I get that, but I say to them, listen, my book's open. If I can help you, it doesn't matter to me. If you're going to stab me down the road, we won't work together again.
No.
But at the moment, if I can help you, let's do it, because you might be the one helping me next year.
Yeah, 100%. Love that philosophy, Tony.
Great stuff.
Before you go, one last question that just popped to mind.
It wasn't me. Yeah. And I don't earn nowhere near £250 a day, you know?
No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen in the industry full stop, does it? I was kind of giving that as a summary, Tony. Can we just let that drop? No one earns that money in this industry.
I'm glad you edit this stuff. Come on, what was it?
I just wanted to know what your hopes and dreams for the future are. Just where is it that you want Royal Flush Productions to go? What is it your dream with that?
God, that's a real big question, because that's a massive thing that you're asking. But at the end of the day, look, as long as I'm creating and as long as I'm still working, the level's not important. It's the fact that we're creating and we're still doing what we love every day at the end of the day. And for me, if I had to stop where I was now, I'd be very happy with what I've achieved and where I've got to. And it's not just about the films that I've made, it's the great people I've met along the way. So it's about the connections and the friends that I've made in this industry. You know, I've got up every day and done what I've always said I wanted to do. I wanted to work as an actor. I wanted to work in film. I wanted to make content. I wanted to make myself immortal, so that in 100 years' time, when I'm dead and buried and I'm gone, I've made my stamp on the world and I'm still going to be here. Because someone some student somewhere is going to type my name into something and they're going to go, look at this pile of crap this guy done, but I'm still going to be
But I think from the things that we've talked about today, though, Tony, I think it's more than that, more than just your art lasting forever or lasting for an extra 100 years. It's the things that you've done have a ripple effect.
Yeah, they'll leave something behind. They'll leave something behind, and hopefully someone else can learn from that. And the people that paths we've crossed and people we've talked to, and like I say, you know, I'm old school in this now. The youngsters that are coming out now, the stuff that they do blows my mind, and how they do it is incredible. We couldn't have done that when we started, but their technology has come so much further than when we started. I first started out in this industry shooting on 16 and 32 mil. I was on film. I wasn't on digital. You couldn't make mistakes again and again. You know, it was that. But we've come so much more forward, and I love the fact that we have. And I'm learning from the youngsters now, not from the other way around. I will give them my wisdom and I will help them to get to what they need, because they can't do what I do. But I'm always learning from them, because they know so much more from now. The new stuff that they're doing is really, and that keeps us alive. It's making me young again. It's making me realise I'm starting all over again. But I'm starting again every day in this industry, because every day's a new day, and every day is something new that I didn't know. So tomorrow I'm going to learn something that I didn't know today. So I'm learning every day, and I'm a sponge. I will take information off people that you wouldn't believe. This is what I do, and it's what makes me good at what I do, because I soak all this stuff up, and then I will pass it on to someone else. So I'm always ears open, eyes wide open, and I'm listening and I'm learning every day. And I don't shut myself up and say, we're in that doing it. It doesn't matter. It does matter, because I might know how to do it my way, but God, your way's so much faster. It's so much better. Let's do that. And by the time I combine that with what I know, we've got something again. Do you know what I mean? And it's fresh again, and it makes me think, I'm learning. I'm still alive. I'm still. So the answer to the question, beating around the bush, sorry to say that kind of thing. I want to see Royal Flush succeed and do well. I don't care at the end of the day, as long as we're working and we're creating content, we're doing what we love, you know. And you know, for everybody that's out there, I've always had this same closing speech that I use to everyone, whether it's actors or whether it's production. Every day you get up and you do the thing that you love doing. You know, you are a success. All you guys that are listening to your podcast, all the people that are interested in film, are already a success, because they do what they do and they do what they love every day of the week without no one stopping them. The only way in this industry you fail is if you stop. So don't stop. Just keep moving forward, and no one can take that away from you. So again, at the end of the day, for me in the future, it's to be where we are now. It's all right. It's bigger and better all the time, but it's to do what we're doing, because we are at success every day, and someone can't take that off me. You can't say
that's lovely, Tony.
You ain't that good. We're at success. I make films.
Yeah.
You know, I'm in films. I might have been in some of the worst films you've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I'm up there on a screen, and I'm doing what a lot of people talk about, but don't actually get to do. So how can you not love and be content with where you are already? We are there. We're all of us are doing it. So be content, you know, forget that side of it. Now just create and love what you do and get bigger in that side of it. Stop worrying about the other side of it. It doesn't matter. It's just moving forward.
What a beautiful place to leave this on. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you very much.
Truly appreciate it, Tony.
Great.
And if anyone has been watching or listening, thank you for joining us for this conversation.
It was great, yeah. And if it is the tax man, he said that, not me.
And if the tax man is looking for you or anyone else, Tony, where do they find you?
Yes, I'm at number 45 Walt Disney Street. I live right next door to Donald Duck. You can find me. Mickey Mouse always pops around for tea. Lovely.
I'll make sure I add it in the comments.
Thank you very much. It was great stuff.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
Talk